Welcome back, everybody, to Right is Right. And all I can tell you all is get ready and buckle up because the ride is about to get bumpy. Last night turned out to be an all-out brawl between the good guys, the Proud Boys, and the bad guys, the commie scum, Antifa. And it went pretty much as you would expect. The Proud Boys show up, the Antifa scum crap their pants and run, and the ones that are too stupid to run away got beat up. They got a taste of their own medicine. Because Antifa is great at beating up grandmas and girls. They're amazing if they catch you 1-on-100. They are so brave when it's only one person that they're attacking. But the moment that real men show up, that are the same numbers, they crap their little baby pants. And they run like little, well, I can't say that word here. I try to keep this channel clean, but it starts with a B. That's all I'll say. And the Proud Boys did not show up to fight. They showed up to protect the Million MAGA March. They knew that these commie suckers were going to show up. And after many incidents of the Antifa scumbags beating up people, throwing drinks and other chemicals on people. Then there's the incident of the Trump supporter that was walking down the street and unfortunately ran into a bunch of Black Lives Matter thugs and Antifa idiots, and they attacked him. He fends them off, and then as he's walking away, a Black Lives Matter thug walks up behind him and punches him in the side of the face, knocking him out cold. Unfortunately, everybody, I cannot show you all the full video of this incident here because YouTube will probably take the video down, and I don't want that. So follow me on Twitter at RIGHT, and you all can see, if you want to, the savage beating of this man by these communist thugs. After all of these incidents, finally, the Proud Boys said, you know what? No more. We're going to protect the American people that are here legally protesting a rigged election. And to no surprise, the lying mainstream media either did not cover this at all or they twisted it. Most of them didn't even cover it, period. They don't want to show their little communist friends out there doing violent things to people legally protesting a rigged election. So it was mostly just ignored. But there was one that I did find, one of the lying liberal media outlets, the Washington Compost, that actually covered it. And of course, as usual, their title is very misleading. After thousands of Trump supporters rally in D.C., violence erupts when night falls. Oh, so it just erupted. It didn't give a reason. It just erupted. I wonder why. Of course, no mention of the real reason for the violence, not by the great deceivers. They didn't say anything about Antifa. And the article goes on to say that the Trump supporters gathered in Washington to falsely claim that the election had been stolen from the man they adore. It also says, and this is what we expect from these liars, that when people that were opposed to the rally showed up, the mood shifted, growing angrier as 300 counter-protesters call them the Antifa scumbags that they are, but of course you're not going to because you're the Washington Compost. And now we all know, we can all see, that Fox News is a part of this lying mainstream media as well. And I'm not suggesting that Fox News never lied. No. But they were still considered somewhat conservative, and a lot of their anchors still are. But they, without a doubt, want Trump to go away, and they want all of his supporters to say, Joe Biden is president-elect, and forget about all the illegal voting that we saw. Fox News has never liked Trump. No. In 2016, they pushed for everybody but Trump. They love themselves some old Jeb Bush because he's another rhino, and that's who they cater to. Rupert Murdoch owns Fox News. He also owns the New York Post, who has wildly swung to the other direction as well. They're now also, Joe Biden is our president, sadly. I used to like the New York Post. But they're ran by him, a big billionaire oligarch, same thing. And in 2016, they did not want to do any favors for Trump. And they do, of course, have some anchors that are very positive towards Trump, like Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham. But the people that are behind the scenes, running the program, running the shows, As I showed in a video previously, there are many of them that are very liberal, and they do not like Trump. So we're seeing all the news stations turn against him for the most part. The small media is what got him elected in 2016. The smaller news outlets, the YouTubers, they are the ones who helped get Trump elected. Not any of these big media conglomerates. They did not help out much at all. And that brings me back to the original point of this whole video. And that is that the mainstream media are just complete and total liars. By not reporting on any of the violence, goes to show you that they're covering up the violence for a reason. They know that their comrades were out there causing violence, so they just don't want to cover it. Now, the one that did, the Washington Compost, simply put counter-protesters, and of course we all know they're not counter-protesters, they're Antifa scum. They're out there to cause chaos and anarchy. That's the whole purpose of them, is to try and destroy the very foundation of the United States. That's what they're working towards. And I can guarantee all of you all now that the little 120-pound vegan frail pale boys know that there are real men out there that are ready to oppose them and all the little communistic tactics. And pivoting away from what happened last night, I'd like to talk about something that I have mentioned in previous videos. And that is that Trump probably has evidence that none of us know about. He's not going to release it. Why would he show his cards to the Democrats? And Rudy Giuliani confirmed that on Maria Bartiromo's show this morning.
Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, and I have a graphic showing the states where they stopped counting, which I thought was also strange to stop counting in the middle of election night. One source says that the key point to understand is that this Smartmatic system has a back door that allows it to be, that allows the votes to be mirrored and monitored, allowing an intervening party a real-time understanding of how many votes will be needed to gain an electoral advantage. Are you saying the states that use that software did that?
Well, I can prove that they did it in Michigan. I can prove it with witnesses. We're investigating the rest. In every one of those states, though, we have more than enough illegal ballots already documented to overturn the result in that state. Because not only did they use a Venezuelan company to count our ballots, which almost should be illegal per se. Number two, they didn't allow Republicans in key places to observe the mail vote. That makes the mail vote completely invalid. Now, they didn't do it everywhere. They did it in big cities where they have corrupt machines that will protect them, meaning in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh, in Detroit. They didn't have to do it in Chicago, in New York, or Boston. They could have. They have corrupt machines there. They did it absolutely in Phoenix, Arizona. They did it absolutely in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Republicans were shut out from enough of the count so they could accomplish what Smartmatic wanted to do. And that pattern that you have there, we have evidence that that's the same pattern Smartmatic used in other elections in which they were disqualified. In other words, this is their pattern of activity. And yes, there is a backdoor, right, and we actually have proof of some of the connections to it. Right now, our cases are the most developed in Pennsylvania and in Michigan. But we already have enough affidavits from people who were pushed out of being able to observe. So in each one of the states that he lost narrowly, he won those states probably by 2 or 3%. I mean, it's
Rudy,
a terrible, terrible thing that happened to us.
Before we go, do you have the Dominion hardware in your possession? Do you need to have that hardware in your possession to prove it? Can you prove the case without the hardware or the software?
We have people that I can't really disclose that can describe the hardware in great detail. We have some of the people, former government employees, our government employees and others that were there at the creation of Smartmatic. They can describe it, they can draw it, they can show it. And then we have proof that I can't disclose yet. But I'm confident, that...
Yeah. Go ahead.
And this has to be examined, Maria, beyond this election, which I believe will get overturned. But beyond this election, this whole thing has to be investigated as a national security matter. And the governors who gave contracts to this company never bothered to do any due diligence. I mean, I can't imagine you would give a contract to a company if you went one step further and found out it's really being run by people that are close to Maduro and Chavez. I can't imagine you would do that unless you're out of your mind.
So you only have a few weeks, Rudy, because they want to certify the state elections early December. Do you believe you will be able to prosecute and be heard within this time frame?
Of course. And I can't imagine how a state legislature can certify based upon ballots where we had no opportunity to inspect, and it was done deliberately. I mean, the fact that it happened in all those states, right, tells you it was a plan. The crooked Democratic leaders in those 10 or 12 places where we were shut out didn't all develop that idea by themselves, right? They didn't have the same dream that night. This is a plan. This is maybe the plan Joe Biden was talking about. He's got the best voter fraud plan in the world. Well, he has a really good one, but lucky we caught it.
What? Wow. We had a communistic country counting our votes? A communistic country that hates America? I mean, look, it's obvious that it's fraud. It's super suspicious. Why would you have a communistic country that is your enemy counting your votes? Unless for one reason. You're communists working with communists. You're not enemies, you're friends. And that is exactly what happened. The Democratic Party, as we all know, has gone further left and further left. They're basically just completely into communism at this point. And no doubt they work with Venezuela. They probably work with China. Who knows who they worked with to get this fraud pulled off? So they asked Venezuela, can you count our votes? Because we know you'll count our votes in our favor. So, like Rudy said, who in their right mind would do that? No one trying to do an honest election, that's for sure. And I think it's pretty obvious to most of us, if not all of us, that this was part of the plan, like he said. It was part of the steal. And the other superstar lawyer working for Trump, Sidney Powell, confirmed that and backed it up as well. And she said that they will absolutely have this election overturned. I personally have faith in both Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. I think they are excellent lawyers. They know what they're doing. And Giuliani has been in this game for a long time. He knows the corruption. He knows the players. And I think he knew long before this election even happened what was going to occur. And he also said they have evidence that they can't disclose. Now, who knows what that could be? I won't speculate too much. But we already have enough, I think, with what he said to overturn it anyway. So that would just be the cherry on top. And it could be very damning evidence as well. It could be way, way, way better than what we have so far. And that's why I think we all should just have patience. Let's sit back, watch the fireworks, because there's going to be a lot of those. And let's watch Donald Trump absolutely destroy the Democratic Party, proving their voter fraud. Well, that is the end of this video, everyone. I am finished. But before you go to the next YouTube video, please leave me a comment and let me know what you all think about what we talked about today. Of course, with the biased media against the Proud Boys. What do you think about the Proud Boys? Do you think they're a positive to our cause or a negative? I personally feel they're a positive. And what do you think about what Rudy Giuliani said? Does that give you more confidence after hearing him speak about the evidence that they have and the evidence that they can't disclose? It definitely does for me. It makes me feel a lot more confident that we are going to win this. Justice will be served, and the American way will be preserved. But anyways, everyone, I will see you all in the next video. Always, please remember to subscribe, hit the bell button, hit the like button. All those things help me quite a bit. And I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday. Take care, everybody, and stay safe.